Hello my beautiful buds. Welcome back to my channel, Sprouts with Joy. My name is Joy, and if you'd like to talk about plants, you're in the right place. I was just eating something, so I feel like I'm getting things out of my teeth. Okay, today is time for July favorites, and I've actually been waiting to film this video until a very little event happened with my plants, so I'm just gonna start with that plant, jumping right into it. I actually recently featured this plant in my top 5 Hoya in my collection, and I mean, I bought it without any sort of identification for like $12 over a year ago at this point, maybe just about a year ago. And at first I thought it was a Hoya croniana, but then I heard that some people were like,
oh, I don't know, Hoya croniana might just be Hoya lacunosa.
It might just be reclassified and wrapped into that species. I'm not entirely sure if there's really a difference or if whatever. That's beside the point. So I typically call this a lacunosa super silver or croniana super silver, whatever you want to call it, I suppose. But okay, this is the exciting part. Ready? Do you see? Look, I've got blooms, you guys, or specifically a bloom, a Hoya bloom. Oh my gosh, I've literally been waiting to film this video until the bloom opened. So let me get you a better look, actually. Okay, you guys, I'm absolutely obsessed. This is stunning. This is my first proper Hoya bloom because my Hoya macrophylla or blattifolia, I think it's been reclassified to Alba marginata. That one technically had a peduncle, technically bloomed, but only like 2 of the little flowers successfully lasted. But with this one, all of the flowers stayed, and they're so cute. And oh my gosh, it smells so pretty. The scent is definitely not like super overpowering. I would say it just smells like a bouquet of flowers. It's like a very mild floral scent, but like a very typical floral scent. Not like, I think the Hoya carnosa smells like Tootsie Rolls or something like that. Yeah, the scent is definitely much more mild, like less obvious, I guess, than Tootsie Rolls. It smells like my wedding day when I had my big old wedding bouquet. Like I was smelling that flower shop scent all day. Like that's exactly what that smells like. And you guys, I have more peduncles coming. Look, there's one right there. There's definitely another one that started. I'm trying to figure out where it is. Oh, right here. See, there's another one right there. And there are like loads more like just tiny peduncles that are just starting out. So like this plant is going to be blooming for me. This Hoya, of all my Hoya, is by far the one that has just thrived the most for me. And now that it's blooming, I'm just overwhelmed with how grateful I am for this plant. I mean, it's not like the flashiest Hoya around, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous with its like very silvery foliage. And now the blooms, I'm so overcome. I'm so happy. And yeah, that's what I've been waiting for with filming this video. I'm kind of filming a little bit last minute. I'm probably gonna have to like only have a day or 2 turnaround with editing this video. I usually like to have a bit more margin in my life, but I was just waiting to film it because I've been watching this peduncle develop and now it finally bloomed. So I was like, okay, we're filming today before anything happens to it. Okay, the next plant on my list is my Gophertia macroyana. Woo! Oh my gosh, this plant has made a comeback. I know this is commonly listed in stores as like a peacock calathea or something like that, which, I mean, it's pretty clear as to why it's called that. It definitely looks very flashy and showy, and it looks like peacock feathers. Like, what the heck? It's so cool. But I don't know if you remember, almost a year ago at this point, this was actually on like my struggling plants video, and it had some mild root rot, but I addressed it and it started growing back really, really well, like better than ever. And now it's literally exploding with growth. I don't know if it has like a couple of new leaves popping up right now, but not a ton. As you can see, like all of the new leaves have already occurred. I guess no, there is some new growth. Yeah, there's several new leaves popping up, but it's just always the case. But like this leaf specifically, look at how massive this is. Holy moly, this came out, it's like literally the size of my face almost. It came out, oh gosh, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I just remember just gawking at it like, excuse me? Why are you so massive? I mean, I'm not complaining, but what? This was probably one of the first plants when I was first getting into houseplants. Of course, most people are super drawn to calathea and prayer plants for obvious reasons. I mean, they're just A+ for appearance. And I know a lot of people have a really hard time with them, myself included. I've had my ups and downs with them, but now she's really happy. And I'm a firm believer that if you let calathea acclimate to your home and you're really consistent and persistent with them, eventually they'll come around. They take a little while before they love and appreciate you back. But you know, you just keep pouring in the love, you keep watering them consistently, fertilizing them, just paying attention to them, pampering them. And you know, they might throw tantrums, but then they'll love you like this. Like I don't know, that's been mainly my experience with calathea. And I'm not necessarily expecting this plant to always do really well from now on. I kind of suspect that over the winter time,
she might be upset with me again and lose some leaves or just be droopy. I don't know.
that happens is kind of to be expected, but I just wanted to appreciate her for where she was at today. Because look at, oh my gosh. Seriously, I know people kind of like get over the Marantisia family. You know, they might be attracted to it initially, but then they're very much over it. But you know, I understand that sentiment, especially with all the memes going around with how awful calathea are to own. But really, like, just look, like...
Can we just reappreciate how incredible and ornate these leaves are and how, like, the undersides are purpley and it's just so full and gorgeous?
I love this plant. I really do. All right, this next one is kind of a funny one. This is my philodendron painted lady, but it is not my only philodendron painted lady because I have another one that's actually on a moss pole. And this one was a propagation that I 100% had the intention to just sell on a Facebook group, but I don't know, it's kind of growing on me and I feel like I'm getting attached. Like, okay, look at how, just admire, first of all, it's just growing really nicely. And the leaves aren't sizing up crazily or anything like that. Obviously, it's not on a proper pole, it's just staked up. But look at how gorgeously variegated these leaves are. Like, oh my word. And as when the leaves initially come out, they're even brighter, yellowish green like that. But of course, the name is appropriate. It's Philodendron Painted Lady. It looks like an impressionist painting or something like that. Like each leaf has this beautiful subtle texture. And of course I love the red pinkish stem and petioles and that sort of thing. I love how gorgeously this has grown in, and I'm gonna have a hard time letting it go. I really don't think I'm gonna end up keeping this specific plant, but all month long it's been catching my eye like a lot. And so I couldn't help but just feature it in my favorites, even though it's kind of funny to be featuring it in my favorites, even though I'm gonna end up probably selling it. But you know, I really like this one actually more than the one that I intend to keep. So maybe I'll flip it around. But it's kind of a bother because the one that I intend to keep I already put on a moss pole. So we'll see how it shapes up. Maybe I'll give it like another month before I end up selling it, but oh my goodness. I just think it's grown so neatly and it's really happy. The leaves haven't been getting stuck, which is a big issue that I often encounter with philodendrons, and I'm just like, you're doing the thing, and I really love this plant. I really appreciate this plant. Look again at that leaf. That is just so pretty. That is so pretty. Are you kidding me? It's gorgeous. Okay, this is my Anthurium forgetii dark form. And you guys, okay, I think it's kind of staring at you in the face. This is the newest leaf that this guy has been putting out. Are you kidding me? I am obsessed with Anthurium leaves. Every time I get a new Anthurium leaf, I'm just like absolutely salivating. It's so satisfying. And this leaf has not one flaw whatsoever. It's just perfect. And of course it's still growing, still hardening off, so I don't want to like mess with it too much. But you guys, I'm legitimately obsessed with how beautiful that is. And I'm sure it will harden off to be like a darker green, kind of like these other leaves here. But so there's this going on, but also, excuse me, sir, are you ready to rumble apparently? because this is an inflorescence. I was not expecting this plant to give me an inflow so soon. I literally have had this plant for maybe 2 months, something like that. I got it like, it was kind of an early birthday present to myself. I got it sometime in May, and it's kind of going off. Absolutely. So there's this new leaf, there's this inflow, which honestly would be so fun if I could collect pollen from it and save it and do the things and make anthurium seedlings. Like, that is a dream of mine. It's I guess a plant collector milestone that I'd love to meet someday. I really would love to cross some of my anthuriums. Like, that would be so fun. Here's another thing. This plant is literally only in sphagnum moss, and it's been in my greenhouse cabinet, so it's in really nice condition, so it makes sense as to why it's so happy. But look at these roots! Holy moly! I put this plant in this vessel literally 2 months ago. The roots were not anywhere near the edges of the vessel, but now they are absolutely going insane. Do you see this? Please tell me. I mean, I know the glass is kind of glaring a little bit, but like, anthurium roots go hard. They go crazy. I also have my crystallinum, my anthurium crystallinum, in a clear plastic pot, and that's gonna need to repot
Literally as soon as possible.
because that one's also going crazy with the root system. And I'm obsessed with how well they do and how chunky the roots are. And it's, again, this happened in 2 months. And I'm gonna need to remove this pretty promptly because it's gonna get stuck in here, or I'm gonna have to shatter this vessel. Like, I don't know how to get around that.
I was a little bit concerned about that because obviously the lip of the jar is a bit smaller, considerably smaller than the body of the jar.
So that might be
A problem?
But hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's easy and it just, whoop, slips right out. I don't know. This plant is so fun. It's doing things and I love it. Mwah. I love anthurium, you guys. I love it so much. Oh my gosh, this is so heavy. I just watered it yesterday, so it's, wow, this is heavy. But this is my philodendron summer glory. And this plant is just beautiful. It's beautiful. I mean, it's a philodendron gloriosum cross, which, side note,
I bought my sister like a little philodendron gloriosum plant for her birthday, and they're considerably more affordable now than they ever have been in recent memory, and I'm sure they were cheaper before the whole plant craze started. But I'm so happy because, like, I don't even have that plant, but I'm just spreading planty joy with my family because my sister is just now kind of getting into houseplants, and, you know, she's really experienced with gardening, but that's beside the point. I thought of gloriosum, and that was a complete aside, but anyways.
so this, yes, is a gloriosum cross with a Macaulay's finale, I think. But this newest leaf, the color is starting to fade down. When it first emerged, it was like pink, rose gold color. And now, you know, it is fading back down to green, but you can kind of still see the remnants of that reddish color. But yeah, this newest leaf, are you kidding me? When it came out, I was so happy with it. And I mean, the root system is going really well in this plant as well. When I first potted it up, I didn't add soil to the entire pot just because, you know, it's a crawler. So when you pot up crawlers, it's just a whole other game of making sure that there isn't too much substrate for the root system, but like it also needs the room to like grow horizontally. But I already have added a lot more soil into this vessel because the roots started like growing, you know, from the top of the soil, which is one of those signs that it needs more soil or it needs a repot. And of course I hadn't added all the soil to the vessel, so I just topped it off. And yeah, like look at this right here. I feel like I've shown this to you guys before, but look, this is a root that started climbing out, and then there were a few others that I covered up. But anyway, this plant's really happy, and I'm so happy about it too. I feel like crawlers in general are fairly underrated because people just, I mean, part of it is a space issue. People don't like to have their space taken up by crawlers, which I understand that. You want to be really efficient when you're collecting houseplants. Sometimes crawlers are not efficient at all because they get so massive and they take up an awkward amount of space. You know, you can get a plant to climb really high, but if it's crawling horizontally, it just takes up a lot. And the petioles tend to be super long on these guys too, so I do understand that. But at the same time, just look at it. Look at it! Ah, I love it, and the venation is beautiful too. And I'm excited for these leaves to continue sizing up. As it gets larger, I really don't know where I'm gonna put it. Right now it's just on my piano, but you know, I will figure it out. as I always do. Oh, I believe this is gonna be the last plant that I talk about today, and this is my Begonia maculata whitey eye. I recently like chopped up the mother plant of this like completely, but you know, a while back I showed you how I put propagations in this pot, and I actually still need to find a cover pot for this because right now it's just in plastic, but it's hiding behind some other plants, so I keep forgetting and I don't notice. But anyways, that's beside the point. This is kind of my new designated Begonia maculata plant because I find that with this plant you need to kind of prune it relatively regularly or start it over eventually because it tends to get pretty gangly. This new one that I have, it's been growing so nicely. Like, look at how compact it is. I actually do need to attach it to this trellis. It's not even attached, it's just kind of for show right now, I guess. I love the coloration of this plant, as always. It's just continued catching my eye a lot recently, especially because it's growing so much. Like, see, new leaves. I love the color of the new leaves as they come in. They are a little bit more like reddish pinkish toned, and then they harden down to this really rich dark green. It almost has kind of a blue hue to it as well. It's such a beautiful plant. It kind of looks like a rainbow because yeah, the newest leaves also kind of have not just pinkish tones, but also more yellowy tones to it. So yeah, when you look at it from afar, just look at that. I love it. And of course the backs of the leaves are to die for. So I love this plant. It's been such an easy grower for me, and I've been considering making a care video for this. Not even going through every single facet of care because I feel like there are a lot of videos out there that go through, okay, well, this is what you need to do for the soil, and this is what you need to do for light, and this is what you need to do for humidity, and this is what you need to do for temperature, and this, like, okay, a lot of those elements are going to be the same for every plant. They just are. Like, most plants are going to prefer bright and direct light. Most plants are going to prefer a chunkier soil mix. But I think I would want to make a video that encompasses care tips for this. Just little things that are unique to this plant, like the types of pots that it likes to be in, how moist it likes its soil to be, little quirks that the plant has that I've noticed, just little tidbits like that I found just based on my experience. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. I don't even know like if you guys even like Begonia maculata, but this one for some reason I've just been able to figure out, and like it really likes my house and it likes what I've been doing, so I figured I might as well just kind of share exactly what I've been doing, even down to like the foot candles of how much light it gets and stuff like that. That's beside the point. That's basically just been catching my eye a lot because it's been growing really well this summer, and it's just getting so lush and full, and I'm excited for it to keep on growing because my other one got to be like almost my height legitimately. Like, it was probably, if I stood on the floor, it probably went up to like right here, which is kind of insane. So I'm excited for this one to like get that big, but hopefully I'll keep it a little bit more well manicured so it doesn't get too out of control like the old one did. Well, I think that's gonna be it for this video. I really love doing favorites videos because it's really fun to kind of get little snapshots of where my plants are at and what my plants are like doing each month and which plants I'm really appreciating. It suddenly got really gloomy. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I think a storm might be rolling in. Anyways, if you guys like this video, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button or, you know, interact with me in the comments. And if you aren't subscribed, please feel free to subscribe if you want to. And yeah, I hope that you guys have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye-bye!